I'm Michelle. I am a senior at the University of Pennsylvania and I'm studying cinema studies and business. My professional background includes my experiences in advertising, in mutual fund, and in a film financing company. In the Philippines, I applied to the top universities and thankfully I got in all of them. And then in the US, I only applied to Penn, early decision. I knew I wanted to go to Penn because I knew that I wanted to study film and business, and out of the schools that I researched, it seemed that Penn was able to offer the greatest flexibility in my educational interests. Flexibility in that it's really easy to double major and to pursue different degrees in different schools. So right now I'm in Wharton, but I'm also in the College of Arts and Sciences. And I got to study courses in these two vastly different fields during my 4 years here at Penn. So I came from a local high school in the Philippines with no IB, no special international college coaching. So I did a lot of research. I made sure to prepare really early, and the one thing that was really helpful for me was my camp mentors. They guided me throughout the whole process. They coached me on how to package myself and my extracurriculars so that I would be appealing to the college admissions offices. I remember I was on college board almost every day. I spent more time studying for the SATs than studying for my actual classes back in high school. And then most of all, I was bothering my mentors 24/7, and they were very nice and responsive to me. It felt great because they were only 2 to 3 years older than me, so it seemed like I was talking to a friend, but they were experienced enough to guide me. They know what I'm going through. So they were able to guide me at every touch point, from SATs to essays to like interviews to like deciding which college to go to. So in my essay, I went through several topics. I had to scrap so many topics because I just couldn't find the right one. And my mentors were very harsh on me, and I really appreciated that. They would tell me right away, like, this is not a good topic, look for a new one. Until I came across this topic. So I ended up writing about how my life was like a game of Monopoly, and the board game Monopoly. And I wanted to create my own Monopoly for myself. I wanted to make decisions for myself. And in a way, going abroad was my kind of Monopoly on my life, because I would get to make my own decisions at Penn and decide my own course of education, which I have. My monthly budget right now, I'm trying to keep it between $500 and $700 per month. That excludes housing because I live in a dorm right now. I definitely think it's really worth it. The payoff you get, the opportunities you're able to access are unparalleled compared to if like someone was to stay in Asia. Like, I don't know much about the loaning process, but just from what I've experienced, I know that this is worth more than what my parents paid for. Okay. So opportunities for work for international students are definitely much fewer compared to if you were a citizen. Like, I would say maybe like 20% out of 100%. And these companies tend to be the biggest because they're the only ones who can sponsor. So in tech, that would be Google and Amazon, and for consulting, it would be only the big three like McKinsey and BCG. It's definitely harder, but that fact only pushes you to strive for more and work harder. And it's definitely possible. I know so many of my international mentors who are now working successfully in America and having a good time. So with enough hard work and determination, the opportunities can also be endless. So in the field that I'm interested in, particularly Hollywood, I researched this, and only half of the major studios are willing to sponsor. So that's only Sony, Universal, and Paramount, if I remember correctly. Don't quote me on this. So it's also harder, but at least that gives me more focus. Like, I know only to talk to these people and to invest more time in like networking and applying to these companies. I actually took the semester off last semester to work in Hollywood for a film financing company, as I mentioned. And it was a really good experience because I felt that I wasn't ready. Like, I needed more work experience. I needed more experience in the world before I could go back to school and then graduate and enter the real workforce. it was very educational. That semester was also very educational, and what was special was it catered more to my specific interests in film and finance and business. So during the internship, the main task that I was working on would be analyzing whether we should invest in the script or not. So that would entail reading a script and analyzing whether it's a good story. Do I want to see this get turned into a movie? But it would also require quantitative analysis because at the end of the day, it's a product that you're trying to sell. A film is a product that you're trying to sell. So that would involve financial projections based on comparable films, actors that are packaged to this specific script, the directors and the crew that are also attached, and the value of the target market. So it really stimulated both sides of my brain because I was, on one hand, I was analyzing creative potential, like is it a good story? Is there a good story arc? But on the other hand, I was also analyzing, will it make money? What's the projected box office sales in 5 years? Will we break even? If I were to do things again with the same constraints, I think Penn really would have been the best option for me. And I would have gone through the same steps. And I'm very grateful for the past 4 years. I've grown so much and learned so much in terms of film, business, and about life, how to be an adult. But if I really had it my way and had less constraints, I definitely would have looked at USC because they have this joint program for specifically film and business. I think it's called Cinematic Studies in Business or something like that. And their business program, both their business program and film program are very strong. And to have a joint program in both of these schools would be a very, very powerful asset in LA, where I hope to work. That being said, if I had studied film and business in the Philippines, well, first of all, I wouldn't have been able to because most schools in the Philippines don't offer such kind of dual degree programs. So I probably would have ended up studying business, doing film on the side. There's also not a big film industry in the Philippines, so I would have probably done it simply as a hobby on the side. And things would be very different if I had stayed in the Philippines. I really hope to stay in LA for like 5 to 10 years if my visa permits me to do so. It's a perfect place for my interests and for my personality. But ultimately, I really hope to go home and drive some kind of change in society, in particular the film education sector of the Philippines. Like my long-term goals, maybe 30 years from now, would be to start a film school or to start my own film studio in the Philippines. And of course, like I do miss my family, and ultimately I still want to be with them. Something I wish I know during the application process is that the stress I put into it, like it was on my mind 24/7. That I kind of forgot to enjoy high school, and now I do miss high school, and I kind of regret not forming strong relationships with my high school friends back in Ica in Manila, because ultimately that's where I'm gonna be, and without a strong support group or a strong network back home, I'll be very lost in how to navigate. And every summer, that's still something that I'm working on, reconnecting with my old high school friends. If you have more questions, please create a profile on afriendabroad.com.